everybody, and welcome again to the Borderline podcast with me, your host, Andrew Willox. Now, I know I put up a post earlier on today saying that I was going to maybe take your pick. Is it a ghost story? Is it a Bigfoot? Is it a yada, yada, yada? There might be two. I've got to be totally honest with you. I'm absolutely mentally fatigued to fuck today to even start thinking about scripting anything or how I do that sort of podcast. So what I thought I would do is just come on and just talk about how I've been feeling. And I know there's a couple other people that might be listening that's maybe feeling a little bit shitty just now as well. And I'm not going to talk about depression and mental health and everything so sad. All I'm going to do is talk, and maybe for when I'm talking, you guys can just, forget just for a little bit, or even if you remember, maybe you can, what's the word that I'm looking for? Engage with what I'm saying, and it can touch you in a little way, maybe. So, so I just want to start off really quickly, obviously by saying, I'm absolutely fine. I've noticed the last couple of days I've had a horrible time with head noise in the morning. Not really like horrible, critical or anything like that, angry, Judith Pish, anything like that. It's more just full on, just constant, like vibrations almost going through my head. And that's just, you're just racing thoughts all day. And I'm sure you guys can relate that, when you're feeling not quite yourself and you kind of want to be yourself, you kind of want to be alone, you kind of got that introvertness about you, you kind of put up the facade. And that's why I'm kind of doing this kind of episode tonight, because it's good just to, go and let loose and just let your mind go for a little bit. Because it's healthy to remember that, you're you can't, only you can change that, don't let anybody else do that for you. So, I really want to start off by saying, well, firstly, I actually thought of this idea originally, and inspired by somebody slightly more knowledgeable, although he won't admit that than me, and I definitely won't name him. Is change the new dynamic of the way that I want to view and think about mental health. So I really wanted to think about doing an episode, and I was going to originally title that Schrodinger's Cat. Now, I'm sure you've probably, if you've watched The Big Bang or whatnot, you're probably familiar with Schrodinger's cat, and if you're not, it's the theory or the perception that if there's a cat in a box and the box is closed and you've left some food and some poison until that box is open, you don't know whether the cat's still alive or dead. And I was kind of thinking in them terms of the kind of the mental health way, but that you don't know exactly how people are going to react until you open that box, until you kind of open up about your emotions, which I suppose kind of fits and it makes sense in that way. But what really hit home, and the way that he re-described it to me, of the way that he thought that I was maybe trying to get the message across, which I thought was so incredibly smart, so bear with me with this one, was that he wanted to add in another variable of mental health, and it shouldn't be an open and closed. The box should always be open. We should never ever doubt what we're questioning with mental health. This is the challenges that we're facing and the stigmas. So what I'll probably do is name my next episode this, and I kind of want to go into in much greater detail because it really hit home with me, was instead of Schrodinger's cat, we could look at sinking or swimming, but we add the variable in, and it changes the dynamic of the way that we look at mental health and ourselves, and that's by floating. So floating's nor between sinking or swimming, and you may feel at times that you're sinking in your emotion and there might not be any way out. And once you kind of get that little bit of energy, yes, you might see land. Yes, it might be off in the distance and you know that you can swim there, but sometimes it's okay just to sit and float for a little bit and just gather up your energy and your thoughts again, and, realize who you are, what you're doing. And, definitely if you're opening up to anybody and you're talking to them, for the first time about your mental health or anything like that, it's good to know that you don't have to rush, you don't have to push it. Just take your time, take everything slow. And that's something that I'm guilty of doing. I'm quite bad for just being too open at times, which I know that maybe comes from a little bit of self-criticism of myself, but I know there's barriers, and I know that maybe do sometimes I cross them. But in saying that, we have to desensitize the subjects to everybody, because that's, how we're going to get through this eventually, is by having the conversations of just normal subjects. Because that's what I don't understand. There's one thing that has been bugging me. Damn, I don't know where I put my juice. Damn. 5 minutes, 24 seconds. I was doing so well. Much better. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so also, I can't put music in this episode. Well, not tonight, because I want to release this episode tonight. Basically, I can put music into my episodes, but to do that, I'm going to have to record them through Spotify. I'm not entirely sure how their sound is. I'm currently using Audacity to do this, which is really handy. It's just so easy. And then you add in your sections, but what's going to be annoying is I'm going to have to record a bit of the podcast, stop myself, remember where it was, add in the song that I want, stick in the next section, stop. It's just going to be a bit of a faff. So until I get around that, I'm not going to be able to add any music as such, because Spotify, they own the music rights to everything, so I can't go and do it on Audacity and publish it. Sorry, it would have been fun. I will start a podcast with Shawn Michaels' intro music one time though. I guarantee it. I promise you I will. So the sink swim. Sorry, totally sidetracked there. Sink, swim, or float is as well when you're ready to swim. Is it's take your time. Don't go in too high. Sometimes you need to wait for a wave just to help kind of push you through. And I guess that's kind of what I'm doing just now. Is I'm kind of in that floating stage. I'm ready to swim. I've actually made a doctor's appointment, which is actually pretty big for me, because like I've said in previous podcasts, I'm not too fond of ye old doctors. I'm really not. They're a bunch of cruddins, some of them. And again, not you nurses, especially not you mother. I freaking love it. And them tomatoes. Yes, please everybody try my recipe that I just posted on the page. It is so fucking good. Honestly, best munchy foods in the world. Sorry, Mum. But it is simply melted mozzarella. Totally going to do an ASMR as well for it's been a custom request. It's been a hectic week. Being me, I'm telling you. And now obviously the choose tomorrow. Wow. I'm not really too sure how this works, because obviously I think on Instagram just now I'm on around about 17 or 1800 or something like that plays, which is quite interesting, because I didn't actually know that obviously the plays would have had to be clicked into plays. Obviously they came from Mel Dean, so that was very, very, very handy of him. I'm also mega excited that I said that Rainn Wilson had at least seen my post, and I know that he said that he is a very personal person on Instagram, and he does read stuff, so I trust that. And like I said, he's somebody that I'm really, 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 really fond of just now. I don't know, I just feel a right connection to Rainn. Good old Dwight. The best. I'm gonna say it. Probably, arguably, the best side character. I would just say it, like a co-star, whatever it is, in a comedy series. If you haven't watched The Office USA, please go watch The Office, so I can make some more reference on here so everybody might get. It's fucking hilarious. It's the funniest thing ever. And my parents have just started watching Game of Thrones for the first time as well, so yeah. Forewarn them off of some good Targaryen sex scenes, Ken. Like, you can't be doing that. Like, not at the bloody dragon, like, Ken. Oh, you can. Right, yeah, so you can maybe swim, and you might finally get to your destination, but again, you might get tired, and you might need to float for a bit. But what's really important is remember that you shouldn't return to sinking. You have the ability to float, and it's perfectly okay to. And that's just something that I really want to drive home to the message. And I guess as well, that is what Choose Tomorrow is about. It's about forming these ideas and analogies and metaphors that we can all relate to in a way, and we can, that it's desensitization in a way that, how hard it is yourselves when you're trying to open up and the other person isn't ignorantly not listening and not taking in. They just don't know how to, that's the issue. Like, how fucking stupid is it that I read the other day that they said, it was a quote on something. It's just like, we know how hard it is to ask, are you okay? How are you? How is that ever difficult? How? Like, I don't even mean like in the past and like you say you're fucking posted, like, you alright, mate? I mean, like, what are you doing? I mean, like, freaking, like, if you go up to somebody, you're okay. Like, aye, but you're alright though, aye? It's not difficult. Oh, man. And then you get a call to fucking snowflake if you're trying to fucking, desensitize it. I'm trying not to make you a fucking arsehole, pal. That's what I'm trying to do. My days. So don't sink. My God. 11 minutes. If you've made it this far, congratulations. Really good. And I hope I'm distracting you a little bit. I lost my bloody juice again. What a hoot. This would be a good time for a music segment, wouldn't it? Yeah, right. Well, maybe do is actually edit these bits out. This would be lazy of me. But I'm feeling pretty lazy as well. And I'm really back into baths just now. Honestly, if you've got a bath, go and sit in a fucking bath tonight. And meditate. Please, please, please meditate too. Take it seriously. You've no idea how much it's changed my life and my perspectives of stuff. And like I said, don't sit and hum and expect Buddha to appear in front of you. Really think about yourself and really ask yourself these difficult questions that are troubling you throughout the day. Why are you feeling angry? Why has this happened? Why? The 5 whys of lean continuous improvement. Jesus, I'm not back at work, am I? Anyway, oh no, I lost my chain of thought. Stupid thinking about work. Stupid. So you're in the bath meditating. There we go. Ask yourself these difficult questions. Oh no. Right, I'm going to skip past that part because like I say, I'm mentally gone the day. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you can all imagine what I've had since I've gotten home as well. So that ain't helping anything. And again, sorry, Mom. Yeah. So meditation, definitely give it a go. I can't speak highly of it. Not that I've sold it in the best way just now, I must admit. But also mindfulness. Mindfulness is slightly trickier in a way that you really have to get yourself kind of targeted into this mindset of really, hyper focusing almost on yourself. That's the way that I kind of view mindfulness. It's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder to do. Like I say, you have to go and really read into meditation and its true benefits, its core, the core beliefs of meditation, and not it doesn't have to be meditation is full on like your Thai monk style meditation. You don't have to try and reach nirvana every time. You don't have to try and have these guided visual meditations, and although they're absolutely lovely. And I certainly recommend if you get some really nice proper chakras, incense burners, and get a few of them lit up on a lovely warm summer's day, meditate in the garden, you will get some beautiful visuals if you get your breathing just right, guarantee you. And it just takes you away to that special place. Ah, no. Does that count as Spotify taking me down? I hope not. I really hope not. Surely not. Yeah, so I can guarantee it'll take you away to that special place. And God, every time I say that, I want to say, sweet child of mine. So annoying. So annoying. See my concentration. Bzz, 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 bzz. Yeah, so go into the garden, meditate when it's nice and sunny. But of course, you'll have to wait until next year to do that. But go sit in a bath. And trust me on this one. Don't think I'm weird. See, when you meditate in the bath, no lights. Really dark room as well. Maybe a candle if you want. And I would recommend an incense burner as well. And before you start your meditation, what I like to do in the bath is really just, think hard. Just let your mind, no, not think hard. Let your mind go. Like, and I don't mean just like brain dead, let your mind go. Like, I don't want any conscious thought thing. Whatever thought comes into your head, just go with it and just let your thought be free. And I always think that that's a natural way of kind of winding down your brain. Because when you do that and you're letting your brain go, your breathing's becoming natural, your muscles are becoming relaxed, little bits of dopamine and serotonin are going to start getting pumped around your system, and it puts you in a really nice place to start meditating. And from there, I would then start introducing, your breathing exercises. And again, I wouldn't focus specifically on set instructions to get your breathing right. Everybody's different. Every lungs are slightly different. If you can't get down to like 6 seconds comfortably, don't go to 6 seconds. Go to 4 seconds. It's absolutely fine. Go to your comfort level and just take it slow from there. Inevitably, your breathing is going to become better for this too. There is health benefits to meditation. Aside from the mental side, there is physical help to it as well. An interesting podcast that I've got to watch tonight, or maybe tomorrow. I don't know if you guys ever watched that Stephen Bartlett's Diary of a CEO. I totally recommend it if you don't. But it's got somebody on. I don't know how truthful this is. We'll have to actually look at the proper evidence in the podcast later. But seemingly, what I think was read right was these 12 IBBF pros obviously came off steroids and whatnot. Protest is totally natural, which I know they can get by, but let's just trust in the name of science. And yeah, they didn't work out for I think it was a 2 or 3 week period, maybe longer. I'm not entirely too sure. Like I say, don't quote me on this episode. It's just when I was browsing before anyway. And seemingly they had to meditate and like hyper focus on muscle growth. And seemingly they had 13% increase in muscle mass. Like, I don't know. Is it possible? Is that possible? 13% is a fucking lot of muscle mass to be sticking on in a couple of weeks. Unless you're pumping some fucking mastodon into you. Yeah, it's a deep praise. Which, by the way, I will cover my SARM stuff in another time too. And I'm not ripping anybody for mastodon. Just don't do it. I'm joking. Anyway. Yeah, and I'm really sorry as well that I didn't get to touch on the Bigfoot thing. So, for context, for many people that are probably listening and don't understand why I have a fascination with Bigfoot. Okay, so I've always had a fascination with Bigfoot. It's not as simple as that, right? I love mystery, and I'm a curious person by nature. We all are. We're primates, or are we? Anyway, yeah. So I'm a curious person. I like to think that there's more to life than what we see. I'm quite spiritual, and I've always, I've always liked the mystery, and I've always been really into obviously I've done animal biology and that. And one thing that always kind of stood out to me was Bigfoot. And I always really kind of liked the anthropological side of the animal biology and, the taxonomy, the genus, and, your evolutionary paths and whatnot. And there are unanswered questions. Science by the book will look at it and throw it down and say, nope, it is how it is. This is that, but it's not. And right, basically, in a nutshell, why do I believe in Bigfoot? Okay, so we know that there used to be a really large bipedal primate called Gigantopithecus, and it lived around the time of the Ice Age. And I think the last fossil maybe around about 8,000 years ago, which is not long ago. It is not. If anybody's like, well, I could totally be extinct in 8,000 years. No, that's not a long time. Calm down. Right. So, we obviously had the Ice Age, and at that time, the Bering Strait was an ice mass, and we know that Gigantopithecus was primarily what we would call now Asia, which, funnily enough, is where obviously the Yeti originates from. And at one time, I believe that these animals crossed what would have been the Bering Bridge and entered Alaska. And that's where I still think they are. I'm not really a massive believer in, they're down in Texas and anywhere, obviously Pacific Northwest. But the fascinating part for me, from the evolutionary path point of view, is it totally rewrites our history. And it changes everything of the way that we look at our heritage in the primates. and the evolutionary path that we've been on. And that's what fascinates me, is that these unanswered questions could then open another book and another book. And I love the mystery behind that. I love the chase behind that. And there's some really, really, really good evidence to support the existence of it. Like I say, I'll do an episode on this. I'm not a fanatic. I'll be devil's advocate. I'll say that there is many more hoaxes than there are actually credible circumstantial evidence. Let's call it that. Yeah, credible circumstantial evidence. I think that's the best way to put it. You know, we do know with studies now that the teaser, the dermal region on the footprints, the foot casts, you know, it's people aren't going to go and do that on as a hoax. You know, a dermal region on your foot is like a fingerprint on your hand, you know. And what's fascinating is about dermal ridging is, if you look at the Patterson-Gimlin footage, which is the really famous footage of, you know, the big foot, the big sasquatch, you know, walking across the creek, and it looks back and it's got the tits. It's actually called Paddy. And yeah, what's interesting about that is at one frame you actually see the back of its foot, and they're able to super high def that now, and you can actually see dermal ridging, and that is as good as it gets as circumstantial evidence goes, because the footprint that was cast obviously matches the dermal ridging to a T, so you know that there was a natural press into that print. It couldn't have been formed or molded. So again, you can't just go say, well, it's real, I've won the Huawei. You know, you can't why would he be from there? Y'all got a goddamn damn Bigfoot again. Oh, Sasquatch. You know. Fuck. Yeah, so that's a little bit of the mystery behind the Bigfoot. So if you're interested in that, then yeah, let me know. We can have some definitely conversations about that. I know there'll be a lot of people that call me cuckoo crazy for this, but I don't know. I think it's fascinating. I honestly do. And I've got some absolute belter Sasquatch calls that I can absolutely nail. I am not going to do them tonight. Whoop! That was fun. Sass is going to be thinking, what the actual fuck is going on up there tonight? What is going on? And my poor cat still sat behind me. Poor Nico. The one time that he comes, oh, bless him. He doesn't know what's coming to him on Friday. We got the playpen today, and we got that all set up, and bless him, he came marching into the living room, proud as punch, and just ran away scared. He's the biggest cat. I'm really scared he's going to eat the dog. I really am. He's huge. He's the most big, lovable lump in the world. He really is. Until he jumps on my penis during the night. And I don't mean in a horrible way. He wakes me up, but it's sore. I wish I could. I really, really, really wish I had that ability to put in music as an overlap anyway. So, yeah. So, head noise, I guess this is me clearing my thoughts in some way. I don't actually really know what this episode's been about. It's been 24 minutes of me yabbing on, primarily about nothing. And we've not really gotten anywhere, but I guess there's been some interesting points. I hope that you have got some messages. Yeah, I think I'm going to go and sit in the bath and just meditate. And I'm going to clear some of my headspace. I'm going to say it. I also want to touch on the scrutiny part of it tonight, and that's something that's really important to me, and something that I need to clear. Just get off my fucking chest, okay? I'm not going mental. I'm not angry at anybody as such. And yeah. So the video that I posted on Facebook the other day, the Choose Tomorrow, is for me probably up there with one of the bravest things that I think I've ever done. And I know that some may think that's, I'm not saying selfish, an egotistical way of looking at things. I know, shut up, Andrew, they don't. And I say it's the self-criticism coming through my head. I also need to try and justify everything for some reason now, and I have no idea why I do that. And again, anyway. So, yeah, so the video that I'd posted with the choose tomorrow, I am going to say, I do feel brave. You've no idea how many times I've contemplated deleting it. It's hard. It is hard to put stuff out there like that. And yeah, I mean, fuck now. My voice is starting to kind of crack. I'm not crying. No, I'm not. I swear. No. No. Yeah, it was. It's hard to know that you are going to face scrutiny, and I guess the hard part of that is you really do learn who's behind you and who isn't, and that's all I really want to say on it. Is that there's people that will listen to this tonight that I do hear a lot of things that are said about me, and I do have a lot of close people close to me that tell me things, and it's not right to make fun of people and their mental health issues, and it's certainly not right to do that or any disease, any human. It's not human. It's not. And please stop doing it. And I don't mean for me. I'm pretty thick-skinned by now. I can take it. That's why I'm doing shit like this. Yeah? But there's other people that struggle. And you've no idea why bring negativity to them when you've no idea what they could be going through. You've simply, because you can't ask, how are you? And if you're not prepared to ask, how are you? Don't say something negative, and certainly don't make them feel already worse than what they need to be feeling. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Again, if you are somebody like that, just change the way you are, yeah? It's not nice. It's not nice. And finally, I definitely need to edit that bit out. I'm not gonna. This is just going straight up. Sorry, this is going up unedited. Fuck it, I don't care. And one more thing I want to say is I know there's somebody really close to me tonight that's maybe going through a bit of a hard time, and I just want to know that I am absolutely here for you in the way that you've been for me. And any time, my man, woman, I'm not misidentifying. You know where I'm at, and I absolutely mean that, and I mean that to a lot of people. I know on my first episode, I don't know if people picked up that I was just like, if I don't message back and that, it's just because at times, I do struggle, but I am always here. Drop me a message. I might not pick it up that straight away. That's all I'm saying. I don't need a personal story. I don't need your entire life story, but I can be there to talk to you, and I can be there as a venting thing. Don't wind me up. I don't want to get more depressed, but I'll take it on, Like I say, we need to be here for one another, guys, okay? And that is choose tomorrow. And I'm really, really, really proud of us all. And I'm glad I've gotten to a stage that for half an hour I can come on comfortably now and just totally, totally be myself. And I really hope you've enjoyed tonight's episode. And this has been the Borderline Podcast, and I've been Andrew Willox. Thank you. Good night.